Hey guys, video two. Now, if in 2024 you have huge goals and huge expectations of yourself, you're going to want to put a lot more time and dedication into the planning, focus, and resources that you have in order to achieve those goals. So, whether that's a marathon, you have a half marathon, an ultra marathon, an Ironman, starting a business, starting a foundation, whatever that big goal is, I'm going to talk through the 3 to 5 things that I do religiously now to focus and really dial in my goals. And first of all, it starts with nutrition. Nutrition today is not just about eating healthy, it's fundamentally about eating well and based upon the goal that you have that you're trying to achieve. You know, if you are planning to do an ultra marathon, you're going to have an extremely different fitness goal. You're going to have an extremely different nutrition plan to if you're just going through everyday life, working without a massive goal at the end of the year. Depending on your goal, you're going to have to change your setup, you're going to have to change your nutrition. And not all goals are equal, which means not all nutrition strategies are equal. And this is something I cover in my newsletter because it's so vital. And it's probably the number one question I'm given on Instagram and TikTok is, hey, I'm performing or training for a running event, a cycling event, a swimming event. How do I adjust my nutrition and is it important? And fundamentally, it's the most important thing you have to dial in. When I was training for my first Ironman 70.3, I didn't just eat healthy. That was one component, eating the right mix of proteins, carbs, and low sugar. But fundamentally, when you're training for something huge like an Ironman, you have to eat a lot of sugar. You have to be fully on board with eating a lot of carbs because those big cycles, those big running sessions, they require carbohydrates because you need the energy and you need your glycogen stores to be so damn high. And so it's one of those things where depending on your goal, you're going to have to move away from the norm of what the everyday person considers a good nutrition strategy. Because at the end of the day, if you just do a nutrition plan that is suitable for someone else's goal, it won't help you achieve your goal. And when it comes down to nutrition, it's not just about being low sugar, low fat, no alcohol. If you're running an endurance race, your body needs to be used to running on fat stores. It needs to be used to getting down to a very low glucose score. And if you have a Zoe, a Super Sapiens, or a levels tracker, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Because if you have a low glucose score, it means your body's running on empty. But if you have programmed your body and you have trained it to run off your fat stores, you're going to have slow release energy for the rest of that really tricky and demanding event that you're running. So make sure you dial in your nutrition because it is absolutely vital. The second thing is knowing what your goals are. And this may sound so simple, but for a lot of people, dialing in goals becomes so hard. And the reason for that is most people start from training and they go, oh, what goal shall I have? And what I found beneficial is actually focusing on the goals that you have, writing them down, every single day so you remind them of the goals, remind yourself of your goals, and that means you can plan properly. So much of what I do in my day-to-day life, whether that's with a fitness event, a business that I'm working in, is if I have a goal at the end of the year or say in 3, 6, 9 months, I reverse engineer back from what I'm trying to achieve. So whether I've got a new Ironman target, whether I want to achieve an extra £100,000 in a business, whether I'm trying to increase users in the newsletter that I run, everything starts with a goal. So if I want to 100x the performance, I can work back into the plan to help me achieve that. So much of people's plans when they go, when they don't reverse engineer, they go, I'm going to try these 10, 15, 20 things. And the problem with that is 8 or 10 of those things, those actions that someone says they're going to take, may not actually help get to the goal. So if you are already a 4-hour marathon runner, for example, and you say to yourself, I'm going to run 3 or 4 times a week for the next 12 weeks. And then all of a sudden you think, oh, okay, I'm going to do a 10K race. The problem is though with that is although you're a really strong marathon runner, you may not have top end speed to hit your 10K goal. So if you go, 12 weeks of training through and you're just doing your normal schedule and you're doing your normal run routine that you did for that incredible marathon result, well, if you then set yourself a 38-minute 10K target, you're probably not going to get there because a, a sub 40-minute 10K target requires enhanced speed training. It requires building your ability to run at an extremely high heart rate with an extremely tough level of lactate going through your body that makes it extremely mentally tough, but also puts a different level of strain through your body. And so whether your goal is set up correctly or not is going to massively depend on, or, impact the training that you need to do. So start with the goal that you're trying to achieve. Let's say you have that marathon or 10K goal, then work back from it. Set yourself a target of saying, okay, I want to achieve a 38-minute 10K. Where am I currently at? What is my quickest 1K time? How quick can I run that 1K time? Okay, let's look at my 5K speed. If your 5K speed is 25 minutes and you have a 38-minute 10K goal, it's going to be very tough to achieve that goal. However, if your 5K time is already 19 minutes and you're saying to yourself, oh, okay, I want to hit a 38-minute 10K, which is about where I'm at and what I wanted to achieve a few years ago, it's going to be fairly simple to dial in that you need to just improve your top end speed a bit more because you need slightly more pace than a 19-minute 5K. And then you have to do a lot of 1 or 2K sprint sessions and some other more technical sessions, but you need to do that so your body's then used to running 1 or 2K heavy sprint sessions, because then you can pull them out of the bag during the 10K. And by doing those sessions, I know that if I was training for a goal like that, I'm improving my top end speed, I'm increasing my comfort at running at a very high heart rate zone, and I'm just going to feel very, very comfortable. So having a goal and reverse engineering it is way more impactful than starting at the bottom and going, if I do all these 5, 10, 15, 20 different things, I might be able to achieve something. That very rarely is the case. All the world-class athletes I know, or business leaders who are able to build up a business from scratch or able to hit their fitness goals, are very good at reverse engineering. So write down your goals, reverse engineer, and those are when the best plans are set. And the next thing, and probably the most important thing, is sleep. Sleep is a really boring topic. It gets a lot of press. It's hugely impactful when Huberman Lab talks about it, and they are often some of the most watched episodes on what is sleep. And the same with Whoop now. Whoop have a brilliant podcast, but it is a boring subject. It is a subject where when you're sleeping, you're not doing anything, and it's very hard to know how to impact that. It's very easy for us to know what to do if we're trying to impact something when we're awake. Okay, I want to focus. You put your phone away. But when you're sleeping, how do you improve your sleep? And also, why is it important to improve your sleep? And the 4 stages of sleep can answer this question. You have REM and deep sleep, which are 2 of the crucial stages of sleep. And if you want to improve your business life, your focus, your productivity, that's when REM sleep becomes so important, because one of the aspects of REM sleep that it gives your body is the ability to focus and the ability to remember and build up good memory retention. Without that REM sleep, your body feels it feels pretty challenged when it's trying to remember things, and it has a very hard, you know, hard go at remembering things if you're not getting that amount of sleep. And so, if you're tracking your sleep with something like a Whoop, which I do, or an Oura Ring, or a Garmin, or a Polar Watch, tracking those sleep stages is going to be really important, because it can tell you where you're deficient in the 4 stages of sleep. And if you can dial them in, it becomes so impactful and so powerful, because you know that you can improve specific aspects of your life when you're awake. The second thing with sleep is deep sleep. If you do have that big fitness goal, and obviously I'm talking a lot about fitness, because if you follow my Instagram and TikTok content and my newsletter, it's fitness content. I have a huge love for trying to perform at the top of my game in any fitness challenge I set myself. When I was growing up, that was cricket, tennis, and golf at a fairly high level. Nowadays, it's running and building a physique that I'm really happy with, that's going to sustain me through my business life. And when I think about what sleep does for me on the business side, it's great. I have better memory retention, I have better focus, I have better productivity day to day when I have better sleep. On the fitness side, though, when I get great sleep, I wake up in the morning and my body is ready to go. And this is so underappreciated. Sleep is not just about feeling tired or feeling awake when you wake up. It's about understanding what sleep does to your body. And so I know when I'm in deep sleep, that's when my muscles can fully recover. That's when my muscles are rebuilding. That's when the protein that I'm consuming is actually rebuilding my muscles that I've broken down the day before or the week before in the heavy training sessions. And so sleep becomes so important. It becomes this drug. If you could take something that improves your mental performance, improves your focus, improves your productivity, and improves your strength, conditioning, fitness, and your ability to perform, pretty much everyone would try and take it. And that's what sleep can give you. It's the most productive drug in the world if you were able to bottle it into a capsule. And so sleep is absolutely vital on that journey to hitting those goals in 2024. Being productive is so important, but having the body that can back you up during those long days, during those long weeks of training is absolutely vital. And on a personal note, I don't think I could perform at the top of my game without the right level of sleep. Those are the top things I'm doing. That's 10 minutes of content. And I'm coughing. So, in a nutshell, those are the top things that I'm doing on a day-to-day and a weekly basis that is enabling me to perform at the top of my game. Whether that's with creating content every day, and with that becomes the ability to focus. I need to focus and I need to be really on my game in order to write the right captions, create the best loops, create the most creative content across TikTok and LinkedIn and Instagram. And when I'm writing with that newsletter, I have to be dialed in. But all of that is backed up by, do I have a healthy body that is tuned and programmed to focus and is working for me? You know, if you treat your body right, it's going to do wondrous things for you. And so those are the top things that I do to hopefully get myself in a position that I can succeed and be productive and really drive forward my goals every single day, every single week. And ultimately, if I'm performing every single day, every single week in anything that I'm trying to do, by the end of the year, hopefully that big goal will be hit. And so hopefully these things are helpful. These tips are things that I'm using day to day. They're dumbed down a little bit because I need to digest information in a more simplistic form. And so if you have any further comments on what sleep does for you, what nutrition does for you, any tips that you may have, drop them in the comments because I love learning as well. And everything that I've learned, everything I talk about is from other sources of information that I've inputted into my own life. And so I can learn from anyone. And please, please, please drop those things in the comments so that I can learn and feedback and create better content for you guys as well. So like, comment, subscribe. The reason why everyone says that is because when you take those actions, YouTube knows who else could benefit from this content. So whether you follow my newsletter and you've come here today, amazing. Thank you for reading, subscribing. Whether you buy from 542 Performance Nutrition, which is my nutrition brand, hasn't launched yet, but those products will launch soon in the UK. Or whether you're here from Instagram or TikTok, thank you. And you'll see me next week at 9 a.m. hopefully, or the week after. But set those goals, put positive habits together, and by the end of the year, you will 100% reach those goals.